Hello good people, hope you are doing well. This is Shankar from Music Production Hub. Today I am going to explain about Antelope Orion Studio control panel. I got an Orion Studio Silvervise here. This control panel is pretty much applicable to Orion Studio Revision 2017, Zentour, Zen Studio and Zen Studio Plus. I am using a PC with Windows 7 64-bit. The Orion Studio is connected using USB 2.0. Cubase Pro 9 is the DAW I am using for the demonstration. I hope you have installed all the necessary softwares, drivers and launcher for your Antelope device. If you haven't installed it yet, please visit Antelope support page for the softwares and drivers. Well, we will start with Antelope launcher. So I am starting the Antelope launcher. If you have installed your drivers and softwares perfectly, you can see your device in the launcher. I am using an old Antelope launcher. I haven't updated to the latest one because it's working stable with the Windows 7 system. So here you can see the device and this is the icon you want to click. This will start the Orion Studio control panel. If you have more devices connected to the same system, it will show up in the launcher, or if you have any interfaces connected over network, it will also show here. Okay, we got a power button here. You can either start the interface from this power button or the physical power button. I am starting the device. Now the device has started. I am minimizing the Antelope launcher. We can resize the interface of the Orion Studio. So if you have a secondary monitor, you can just drag and drop this interface in full screen. We will start from the top left hand corner. This is the power button. If you want the device to go into standby, you can press this. The Orion Studio has two sets of monitor out, monitor A and monitor B. I think Zen Studio doesn't have a second pair of monitor output. So Orion Studio and Zentour and Orion Studio Revision 2017 have two sets of monitors. So you can select the monitor A or monitor B from here. And this is the main output control of your monitor. This is the same for both monitor A and monitor B, it's not different. So either you can use monitor A or monitor B. This is the monitor output control. Here you got a mute switch for the monitors. Next, we have an option to select the clock source. So in default, Antelope device will work with its internal clock, that is oven controlled crystal oscillator. So this is the internal clock. If you connect your device using USB, and if your DAW is streaming signals through your device, it will show USB. The oven clock is used always if you are in USB or if you are in oven. Next, we have option to select word clock. If you have other clocking hardware or other interfaces connected to the Orion, you can use that clock with this Orion Studio. So you can connect external clocking hardwares to the Orion Studio using this word clock. Zentour doesn't have this word clock option. So if you are receiving clocks from other devices through ADAT, you can select this ADAT option. If you are using higher sample rate, then the SMUX option will be used. So you have to select the respective 2x or 4x depending upon your sample rate, and you can also receive the clock from SPDIF ports. Then we have the USB option. So in default it will show oven. Next, we have the option to select the sample rate. So the device has a sample rate from 32 kHz to 192 kHz. You can select the desired sample rate. If you are using the 48K as your default sample rate, you have to change your Windows playback sample rate to the same, so that you can use your web, you can play videos through YouTube while you are working with the DAW. There won't be any problem with the sample rates. If your sample rate of your DAW is not same as the sample rate of your Windows playback, it will cause trouble. So I am going to the taskbar and I am right clicking on the speaker icon, selecting the playback device. I can see my Orion Studio here, so I am selecting this and clicking on the properties. In the advanced tab, there are so many options here. Usually this option will show as 2 channel 16-bit to 44.1, but here I selected 2 channel 24-bit 48 kHz as the sample rate. You have so many options, so you have to select a 2 channel option here, that's a mandatory. Next, there will be an exclusive mode option. I will usually uncheck these options. I don't want this exclusive mode. This works for me. You can experiment with these options, but I recommend to deselect this allow application to take exclusive control of this device. I think Pro Tools needs these options, but Cubase and Logic will work well without this option. Okay, so you have to select the 2-channel 24-bit and 48K. Okay, I'm clicking OK. Then I'm going to the sounds, and in the sound scheme I select no sounds. I don't need to get any sounds from the double clicking of a folder or any other Windows prompts. I don't need, so I am selecting no sounds. Okay, next we have a lock light here. If you are using some external sources, this will light. If it's connected and it's working fine, then the external this lock light will lit up. Next we have the device selection here. If you have multiple Orion Studio connected to the same computer, you can select the device control panel using the serial number. Now I only have one device, so it's showing here. Next we have a settings option. So this is the device settings. We have 2 sets of monitor out. We can trim this monitor outputs as we wish. So there are so many options. I usually put the monitor trim to 20 dBu, and we have a line out trim. We have 2 sets of line outputs that is on DB25 ports, so we can use the trim if you are using some external gears, monitors, or some other thing. Okay, I will always use the 20 dBu. Next we have a SPDIF SRC option. If you are receiving audio through SPDIF, it will automatically convert the sample rate to our project or our control panel sample rate. These are the option to send the talkback. So Orion Studio, Zentour and ZenStudio, all these devices got an inbuilt talkback microphone. So you can send the talkback to either headphone 1, headphone 2, or you can send the talkback to monitor. I don't use this talkback to monitor option, but I will use this talkback to headphones option. Okay, next we have 2 inbuilt oscillators here. You can mute the oscillators. So if you need to get some test tones, you can use these oscillators for pretty much any output. I will show you that later. So you can select the output trim of these oscillators here. Next we can select the 440 standard frequency and 1 kHz test tone for the oscillators. Okay, next we have slider for the reamp output volume. Orion Studio has 2 reamp outputs, so you can control the reamp volume from here. If you press this, it will be muted. Next we got the line output volume. So you can control the 16 line outputs volume with the single fader. If you click here, it will be muted. Then you have brightness option for your screen. Next we have buffer size options here. So as it is connected with the USB and it is using Windows, we are getting this option for changing the buffer size. You can pretty much select auto. So if you have a good system, you can pretty much go low latencies. You can select lower buffer size. So I usually work with the 256 buffer size with this system because this is a 4th gen i5 based system. Okay, there are some streaming modes here. Antelope recommends to experiment with the streaming modes. I usually select the standard streaming mode option. Sometimes I use the auto option for the buffer size. If I am doing some recording, I will select 256 or 128 depending upon the session. If I am doing some mixing projects, I will go to 1024. Okay, so here I am selecting the 256. This is for the Thunderbolt latency mode. It won't work because now I am using the USB. So this is the settings window of Orion Studio. You can find the similar options on the other devices too. Next we have an administrative option. Here you can see the control panel version, the hardware version, serial number of the device and firmware of the version. I'm not going to this option right now. So the Orion Studio has 12 mic preamps here. Out of the 12 microphone preamps, first 4 mic preamps have options for selecting mic, line or high-Z, and the rest of the microphone preamps have option to select mic or line. Okay, the 4 preamps are in the front panel and the rest of the preamps are in the rear panel. All of the preamps you can control the preamps in digitally. So you can save all these setups as a session preset and you can recall whenever you want. So if you are using a mic, you can select mic. There is a phantom power button here. There is a link button for linking the two channels. If you are using a line device like a keyboard, you are inputting a keyboard, you can link the two channels together. Okay, and there is a phase shift option provided for your microphone. So these all are same for the other strips also. Next we have an ADAT option here. So if some signals are coming into your ADAT ports, you can control the gain. You have negative gain also, you can reduce the gain, or if you want to increase the gain, you can do that. And the channel linking options are here. Next the SPDIF level control option here. So the SPDIF inputs can be controlled from here. Okay, you have negative gains here. Okay, that's a very good option. Next we have the main routing panel. Okay, now I am going to start the Cubase. Cubase is starting behind. Okay, by the time Cubase starts, we will look the Orion control panel. So these are the main routing matrix provided by Antelope. It's a very useful routing matrix. At first you will seem this so confusing, but during the course of time you will definitely like this routing matrix. So there are two options from and to. Your preamps, your physical preamps are listed here. The Orion Studio has a mic emulation options here. So it starts from the 5th preamp to 12th preamp. The front 4 preamps does it have the mic emulation option. If you have purchased the Antelope microphones Edge or Edge Verge microphones, you will get an activation code and you can activate that mic emulations on this device. So I haven't activated that on this device. I have a Zentour, so I activated the microphones on that device. So we can't use the emulated mic here. And next is the Thunderbolt Play. We have 32 buses over Thunderbolt and 24 buses over USB. Now USB is connected. So you want to understand the main concept. That is, your DAW can only see these USB play and in the two options these USB record channels. So the DAW that is here in Cubase can't connect with any of the preamps or any of the outputs, any of the ADATs. It can't see any of these physical ins or outs. It can only see this USB play 24 buses and USB record 24 buses. So if you want to send a signal to your DAW, that is Cubase, you have to route your input to the USB record. See, if I want to send my microphone preamps to the digital audio workstation, I have to route the preamps to the USB record. So you can route anything to anything. That is the main specialty, and you can do multiple routings also. So first of all, if you start the control panel, I recommend to mute all these. You just right click on the first slot and just click mute row. I am just muting everything. So we can start the routing from the first. Okay, I am muting everything. So now the 2 section is muted completely. Okay, so first we will start with the preamp. We have 12 preamps here. So these blocks represents your preamp numbers. Then we have the emulated mics. Then we have 32 buses for the Thunderbolt Play. Next we have the USB buses that's we are using now. So our playback, that is, if you send a signal from your digital audio workstation, it will come to this USB 1 and 2. By default it will come to USB 1 and 2. You can route to any other outputs using your digital audio workstation, and if you play something on your Windows, it will come to USB play 1 2. Okay, next we have 16 ADAT inputs that you can see here. Our 2 SPDIF inputs are here. Then our AFX out are here. So I will explain about Antelope FX later. Then we have 4 mixers here. We have Antelope has provided 4 digital mixers inside the control panel, so you can use that. There are 32 channels for each mixers, so there are 4 mixers here, and the main out, that is the master out of these mixers came here. That is mix 1 LR, mix 2 LR, mix 3 LR. Okay, in the 2 section we can see the line outputs. So these line outputs are on the DB25, so you can see that. Next we have 2 headphones. So these headphone outputs are here. You can control the volume of the headphone outputs from here. Okay, I usually use -12 or -10. You can turn on and off here. Okay, so you can route the signals to headphone 1 and headphone 2 independently. Next we have the monitor outputs. There are two sets of monitor outputs, but we have only one DA converter, so it's showing here. Next we have the reamp outputs. Then the Thunderbolt record 32 buses here, and the USB record 24 buses. So this USB record is what we are using today. Next we have ADAT outputs, 16 ADAT outputs, and this PDF outputs. The Antelope FX input, we have 16 channels of Antelope FX. I will explain about that later. And 4 mixers with 32 channels each. So this is the control panel layout. Now we want to play something from our digital audio workstation. So the Cubase already started behind. I will go to Cubase, click more, empty, and I am creating a project. Okay. Okay, here it says audio inputs not connected. I'll go to the device setup, VST audio system. So it's selected with the generic low latency driver. I will change to Orion Studio ASIO driver. Okay, switch. Now the Orion Studio is connected. So you can see here the input and outputs. It's 24 ins and 24 outs. So these 24 ins and 24 outs are related to the USB play and USB record. So the input is USB record and the output is USB play. Okay, now I am clicking Shift S on the keyboard, and I am checking the sample rate and the bit resolution. So now it's 48, and the control panel is also 48, and it's streaming through USB. Now we have started the Cubase, so it will change from OVN to USB. Okay, that's okay. I am pressing F4, VST connection window. Here the inputs are not connected, that's why it's showing here audio inputs not connected. I am selecting the Orion Studio. Okay, so the outputs are connected. By default it's connected to output 1 and 2. If you click on this, if you don't have output, let me delete this, delete the input and output. Okay, in the output you can add bus, stereo. You can, if you want to name, you can name. Okay, now just click here. You can see the USB play. So it won't show you here as USB play, it will show you just as output, but these all correspond to the USB play, 24 USB play. So I am it's already selected out 1 and 2. I have loaded some tracks into Cubase. If you check the Cubase, the output is going to USB play 1, 2. So it will come here. So I am using the Antelope internal mixer to route the USB play 1, 2 to the headphones. So I am just pressing the shift on the keyboard and selecting the USB play 1 and 2, and I am dragging and dropping it into the mixer channel 1. So if I go to the mixer, okay, this is the mixer channel 1. So by default all these faders are up. Okay, I will just link the channels. So you can put the faders into the 0 dB and just hard pan these two faders. So if I play, let me play, but okay, now I am playing, but I can't listen to anything because we will go to the control panel, go to the meters. Okay, now the USB play is working, and if I check the mixer channel here, mixer channel 1, okay, it's also coming, and there is a, this is the master output of the mixer channel 1. Okay, it's also working fine. So now we have to route the mixer channel, mixer 1 LR to the headphones. So I have connected my headphones to headphone 1. So I am routing this to headphone 1. Okay, my headphones are muted. Okay, now I am able to listen, but I have to send the signal to the OBS recording. So I'm just using the voice meter. If you check here, I am using the USB record 1 and 2 for this OBS, so don't get confused with that. I am sending the signal to OBS. Okay, now you can also listen. Let me check that. Yeah. I'm just muting. Now you can clearly listen the track. Now I want to record my microphone. I have connected an Edge Duo to the channel 1 and 2. So I want to record the signal. So I am just selecting the link button because it has a dual diaphragm, and I am turning the phantom power on. Okay, I'm just inserting 24 dB as the gain. So now we have to send the preamp 1 and 2. So I already told you that the USB record 1 and 2 is occupied. We can send the preamp 1 and 2 to any of the USB record channels. That won't be any problem. So I am just sending the preamp 1 and 2 to the USB 23 and 24. Okay. Now it's on USB 23 and 24. USB record 23 and 24. I will go to my DAW. Press F4. In the input, the Edge I have already named one. Just I will delete this. I will show you once again. I'm adding a bus stereo Edge Duo, and I am changing the input to 23 and 24. Okay, now I am adding an audio track. Okay, the input is already selected as Edge Duo. Okay, I will test into the microphone. Okay, I think, let me check the OBS. Hello. Okay, I am putting the Edge Duo emulation. Okay, this is a plugin version of Antelope's emulation because I have my emulations activated on the Zentour, so I can use the plugin version with an iLok. Okay, this is the Edge Duo emulation. I can change the emulation. So we will discuss about the emulations later. Okay, I'm selecting Berlin 67. Okay, hello, check, hello. Now I think you can hear my voice. So now you can clearly see that this preamp can be routed to any of the USB record. You don't need to route the preamp 1.2 to the USB record 1.2. No need. You can route anything to anything. So you got a voice. So I will name this voice as Vox Dry. So now we have routed the channel 1 and 2, that is the Edge Duo microphone, to the USB record 23. Sorry, yes, it's here. USB record 23 and 24. Okay, now if I want to add some Antelope effects to the same microphone preamp, what will we do? So we will look into that. Now I am selecting the same preamp. So in my Cubase I am just unchecking my record. Okay, I will select the same preamp from here, and I will drag and drop that to the AFX input 1 and 2. So now I have routed my preamp 1 and 2 to the AFX in 1 and 2. Let me go to the FX section. If I go to the FX section, you can see there are 16 channels of AFX. Each channel has the ability to load 8 FX instances. So I am just linking the channel 1 and 2, and I am adding an effect. Okay, I am just adding a VEQ HLF. So it will give you the option to high pass and low pass. So I am just putting an 80 Hz low cut filter here. I am going to routing. So you are recording your dry signal of your microphone to this track, that is Vox Dry, through 23 and USB 23 and 24. Now simultaneously I want to record Vox going through the AFX. I'm just adding a new track. I'm going to F4. In the input I am adding a new bus. Sorry, it should be mono. I'm adding a stereo bus. Okay, now I am selecting 21 and 22. So USB record 21 and 22, and I am renaming this to AFX. So this is the microphone signal with AFX. Now in the control panel we have to route the AFX out 1 and 2. So once again our preamp signals are going into the AFX in 1 and 2. After processing the signal, it will come back to the AFX out 1 and 2, and I am just dragging and dropping the signal to the USB record 21 and 22. Okay. So now I am just putting record on the AFX. Check. So there are no emulations loaded here. That's why it's on the right channel. I'm just putting an envelope emulation. Hello, check. Hello. Okay, this is good for me. Okay, now if we go to the FX section, and I'm just trying to look at hello. Check. Let me check the input. I think it's still on Edge Duo. Okay, Edge Duo AFX. Hello. Okay, let me log it. Okay, now you can see it's coming through the AFX. So the microphone signals are coming through the AFX. Hello. Check. I just put a 80 Hz filter and a 15K high cut. I'm adding another plugin. I'm adding a vintage EQ. Yeah, you got so many effects here. We will come to this effects section later, but I'm just putting one more effect. Hello, check. So I can EQ here. This is an SSL emulation. I can EQ here. Check. Hello. If I want to add a compressor, I can add here. And let me uncheck the record button before adding the compressor. Okay, I'm adding a Liverpool compressor here. Okay, I have to turn down the input. Let me pick the record once again. Okay, I have added a compressor. I'm just using a medium fast attack and fast release. Okay, can use this. Hello, check. Hello. I'm driving the input. Hello, check. Hello. Check. Hello. Okay, now you can see I can link the Liverpool if I want. Okay, hello. Check. Hello. So it can be worked on mono channel or linked. Hello. Check. I will bypass the button. Bypass the effects. Hello. Check. Hello. Test 1 2 3. Check. Okay, simultaneously you can see hello. This is my dry voice on Edge Duo. Hello, check. This is my wet voice. So during recording, I'm just putting the FX track in mute position so that you can record both the dry and wet signals. I'm just recording this. Hello, check. Hello, test 1 2 3. Check. Hello, check. Hello, test 1 2 3. Check. Okay, so using this method you can record the dry microphone and the microphone combined with the AFX. So later if you want to add some more effects, or if you want the dry signal for more processing, then you can choose this track, or if you are satisfied with the AFX version, you can use that track also. So the Orion control panel gives us the flexibility to route a single source to different destinations. Next we will check how to send the vocal track to the Antelope Reverb. Antelope has a reverb inside its mixer channel 1, so that you can use that reverb is called Aura Verb. You can use during recording or tracking or mixing, etc. So now we are sending our vocal track to Aura Verb. I am enabling this microphone channel. Okay, I am going to F4 VST connections. In the outputs I am creating another bus. I am creating a stereo bus here. Okay, this is routed defaultly, it's routed to output 3 and 4. So it will come here. Okay, I'm just giving it a name. Okay, now I am sending this vocal track to, selecting the output and sending the output to Aura Verb. Now we will check here in the meters in the USB play section. Hello. Okay, the signals are coming out of the 3-4. So I am just taking the USB play 3-4 and routing it into the mixer channel 1. Okay, now you can hear my voice. I will go to the mixer. This is the reverb. You can turn it off here. Okay, there are some presets here. Vocal reverb medium. Okay, I'm just using that. Hello, check. Hello. Okay, I'm sending the signal to the reverb. There is a send option here. Increasing the reverb level. Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Hello. Check. Hello, test. 1, 2, 3. So I think you can hear the reverb. Hello, check. So this is the Aura Verb inside the Antelope interface. So you can use this while you are recording. Now I am just using this Aura Verb for monitoring. So I am sending the signal from the DAW. Actually, you can directly route your voice into the Aura Verb. You can just select the preamps 1 and 2 and you can drag and drop to this mixer channel, that is the mixer channel 1 here, and you can send to the Aura Verb. But now we are using an Edge Duo microphone. We need this mic emulation to combine the two diaphragms. So I am sending the Aura Verb from the Cubase. Now we will check how to use the Antelope FX as insert inside the Cubase. So we have 16 channels of effects here. We have lots of effects here. I will dig deep into the effects later, but now I am telling you how to do the routing of AFX inside Cubase. VST connections again. I am going to the external effects. So I have so many things going here. I am just removing all the buses. Okay, so for this purpose you need to have the Pro version of the Cubase. It's not available in the Elements version of Cubase. I'm just adding an external effects. Okay, I'm putting the name. Okay, I'm giving the name AFX Combo 1. Okay, the send configuration is stereo. Okay, now we have to assign the send and return. Okay, I am selecting the Orion Studio as the input and output. We can select any send bus. So I am using unused buses here. I am selecting 7 and 8 here. Okay, I am also selecting the return bus as 7 and 8. You don't need to select the same in Cubase. You can of course have different bus here, but for convenience I am selecting the return bus same as the send bus. So the names are only same, the buses are different. Okay, now I want to add some effect. Let me take. We have to do the routing here first. So we have taken this 7.8. So from USB play 7.8 for convenience I am using the AFX in 7.8. Okay, and I am routing the AFX out 7.8. USB record 78. Okay. Now I am going to the insert of the kick, and I am just typing the name which I have given already, AFX comb1. Okay. So you can you can dial the send gain and return gain here, and you have a ping option here. Measure the FX loop delay for delay compensation. Okay, it already measured the delay 1.23 millisecond. Let me go to the FX 78. I'm linking the 78. I'm adding an effect here. Okay, let me add an HLF first, so that we can look into the signals whether they are coming or not. I'm playing that kick. Yes, it's coming here. Okay, then I am adding a compressor here. There are so many compressors here. I am just adding 670. Okay, it's compressing so much. We can stereo link the compressors. Okay, I'm bypassing this. I'm adding another compressor, the Liverpool. Okay, if I want to delete an effect, you can click here. Want to stereo link, press the link button. And I am once again clicking the delay compensation button. Okay, now it has changed. So adding effects will definitely change the latency number. So now you got an idea how to incorporate an Antelope FX as an hardware insert inside Cubase. Okay, this was a simple demonstration. We have to dig deep into the FX and other things that I will do on the coming videos. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you got some information from this video. I will continue the video series on Antelope Control Panel and Antelope FX. You can watch more videos in this channel. If you have any suggestions, please write down it as comments. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.